If you've been job hunting for any length of time, you've heard it a million times. You gotta optimize your resume for the ATS. But what if I told you that advice, that one single piece of advice, might be the exact reason you're not getting any calls back? Well, today we're gonna crack open the black box and see how these things really work. See, this is the question that changes everything. It's the whole game, right here. You've spent all this time optimizing your resume for the road, but nobody told you if you were about to drive on a brand new highway or some bumpy, unpaved dirt trail. And that, right there, is the problem with treating the ATS like it's just one thing. So here's the reality check. Yeah, there are over 200 of these systems out there, but a tiny handful, just 4 of them, pretty much run the whole show. And here's the kicker. The resume that gets a perfect score on one system can get totally scrambled and fail on another. You've been playing a game where you couldn't even see the rules. Until now. So here's our game plan. We're going to bust the whole ATS optimization myth. Then we're going to meet the 4 big systems you actually need to care about. I'll show you how to spot which one you're up against, how to build one universal resume that works for all of them, and then tie it all together into a brand new application workflow. Okay, first things first. Let's officially kill this idea that a single, perfectly optimized ATS resume is your golden ticket. It's probably the most widespread and most flawed piece of career advice floating around today. I mean, this analogy just nails it, doesn't it? You wouldn't take a high-performance race car onto a rocky mountain path, would you? Of course not. So why on earth are we all sending the exact same resume into companies that use wildly different systems to read them? It just doesn't make sense. And, the stakes here are incredibly high, especially if you're an experienced professional. You might already be dealing with subtle algorithms looking at things like your graduation dates or how long your career is. So if your resume's formatting also breaks the system, you're literally fighting a battle on 2 fronts before a human even has a chance to see your name. It's no wonder it feels like shouting into a void sometimes. All right, so let's get to know the gatekeepers. These are the 4 main players standing between you and that interview. Just look at this chart. You've got Workday, Greenhouse, Lever, and iCIMS controlling a massive chunk of the market. This is actually great news because it means you don't need to worry about 200 systems. If you can just understand these 4, you have a huge advantage over almost everyone else. First up is Workday. This is the big one, used by more than half the Fortune 500. Think of Workday as a machine that just rips your resume apart. It strips out almost all the pretty formatting to shove your info into its little data fields. You used columns, tables, put your contact info in the header, forget it. It's all going to get mangled. With Workday, the only rule is to keep it brutally simple. No exceptions. Next, we have Greenhouse, the favorite of the tech world. Now, this one's a little nicer because it actually saves a copy of your original resume for the recruiter to see. But, and this is a big but, its internal scoring is based on the data it pulls out, and its keyword matching is super literal. It doesn't understand that managed a team is the same as team leadership. You have to use the exact phrases from the job description. Then you've got Lever, which plays a totally different game. Lever isn't just looking at you for one job. It creates a candidate profile and tries to match you with other open roles in the company. So for Lever, the most important thing is human scannability. A recruiter needs to glance at your profile, quickly understand what you do, and add tags. A clean, clear, well-structured resume is way more important here than one that's just stuffed with keywords. And finally, iCIMS, the keyword king. It's huge in government, healthcare, and finance. This one has the smartest, most complex scoring engine. It actually gives more weight to keywords that appear higher up in your resume. But it's also the most likely to just automatically reject you based on that keyword score alone. For iCIMS, optimizing isn't just a good idea, it's a matter of survival. Okay, so you know the players, but how do you know which game you're about to play? This is where you take your power back. I'm going to show you how to figure out the system before you even think about hitting that apply button. So there are 5 ways you can do this, but let's be real. 90% of the time, all you're going to need is the very first one. We're going to focus there because it's the fastest, easiest, and most powerful trick you can learn today. And here it is. This is the cheat code. The second you click apply, just glance up at the address bar in your browser. If you see myworkdayjobs.com, you know you're dealing with Workday. See boards.greenhouse.io? Bam, that's Greenhouse. This simple 5-second check tells you exactly which playbook to run. It is an absolute game changer. All right, so now you can spot the system. So what do? You don't need to maintain 4 completely different resumes. That's a nightmare. What you need is one universal master template that acts as your foundation. Let's build it right now. These are the golden rules, the non-negotiables. Always use a docx file, not a PDF if you can. A single column layout is mandatory, stick to a standard font like Arial or Calibri, and absolutely no tables, no columns, no images, and please do not put your contact info in the header or footer, it will just disappear. I know this format looks boring, but boring is safe, boring gets you seen. And the order of your sections is critical. All 4 of these systems are programmed to look for your information in this exact sequence. So don't get creative with your headings. Don't write my awesome career journey. Just write professional experience. The machine is dumb. It's just following a map. This is the map. Now, here's where the magic happens. On the left, you have your solid, universal resume. On the right, look at this tiny but powerful tweak for iCIMS. See how we just moved the most important keywords from the job description right into the first sentence of the summary? Because we know iCIMS cares about where the keywords are, that simple change can rocket your score up. Okay, let's put all the pieces together. Let's build an actual system you can use, so you can go from just blindly applying everywhere to strategically targeting the jobs you want, from chaos to control. This is it, your new 5-step battle plan for every single job application. Step 1, identify the ATS with the URL trick. Takes 5 seconds. 2, start with your clean, universal base resume. 3, make those small, smart, system-specific tweaks. 4, tailor your keywords for that specific job. And 5, track your results. You'll quickly start to see patterns like, hey, I get a lot of callbacks from greenhouse companies. This is how you take control. Look, let's be honest. You shouldn't have to become an expert on 200 different kinds of software just to apply for a job. That's absurd. Now that you know the principles, you can use tools like Pass the Scan to basically automate the hard part. It'll run your resume against a bunch of different parsers at once and show you exactly how systems like Workday and iCIMS are going to see your document. It's a great way to double-check your work before you submit. Because at the end of the day, that's what this is all about. The goal isn't to have a perfect resume. The goal is to get past the robot filter so a real human can see it. This knowledge gives you the key to stop those silent rejections and start having the conversations that actually lead to interviews. So what's the first thing you're going to change?